back, week 2 of the Waccamaw Warriors Sportscast, and really excited for the reception that we received in the first week, and got another incredible lineup. You guys, appreciate y'all coming out and joining us. Got lots to talk about. We want to start by just acknowledging our sponsors, and Chick-fil-A is an awesome partner, and they're a founding sponsor of the Sports app, and now this effort of a podcast, and so we're so thankful for their financial support and their partnership as well. We want to thank Dependable Service, and they also have partnered with Fellowship of Christian Athletes in the last year, and just an incredible company, faithful support, and we're so thankful for them. And finally, Clean Image, holiday lighting, and so it's about that time of year. I want to encourage everybody to give them a call if you've still got holiday lighting needs. That's more and more the case, and so excited for Christmas. But today, we're excited to have you guys with us. As I said, Coach, I'll start with you. Coach Buffkin, tell us sort of how long you've been here at Waccamaw, and then sort of the origin story. Where did you come from? Where else have you served in a coaching capacity or teaching? You're also a teacher at the high school.
I am a teacher. If there's a high school in the state of South Carolina, I've probably coached there. I've been all over the state. I was born and raised in Columbia, South Carolina, and then I started at Lower Richland High School, and then moved out towards the western part of South Carolina.
Okay.
And I kind of bounced around the Greenwood area, different schools. And when COVID hit, I've got 2 beautiful twin boys who their grandmother lives down here in Surfside. And so when COVID hit, they went like a year without seeing Grandma. And Grandma was not very happy with that. So I made the decision to go ahead and move down here to the coast. Got me a house in Pawleys Island. Love the area. I've been here for about 5 years now. And I've been at Waccamaw High School the last 4 years. I'm the assistant head coach, and all that means is when Coach Johnson's not there, I'm in charge, but he's always there. All right, so I'm never in charge. I'm just there just in case. I'm the safety net of the program. And for the last 2 years, I've been offensive coordinator.
Nice.
And I teach English, by the way.
Yeah, tell us a little about English. What?
It is a rarity to find an English teacher who coaches football. I can quote Shakespeare and tell you about the flex bones, so it's a different thing altogether.
That's awesome.
When I went to the University of South Carolina, I was like a lot of freshmen at USC. I had no clue what to do. I did not know what my life path was. And about a year into it, I missed football so much. I knew I had to find a way to get back in.
Okay.
So I remember, what did I like in high school? I like reading. So I decided to become an English major. Took a bunch of education classes, got my master's there in 2008, and then whatever I could do to get back on the football field, and coaching was that capacity.
Well, I have also had the opportunity to work, very closely with you over the last few years, and I think that my admiration for you comes from your love for your family, and it's really cool, to see someone who is passionate about your job as an English teacher, but also as a coach and as someone who works so closely with these student athletes, and so I consider you just like a partner in that, because that's also my motivation, is just encouraging this next generation, and I see that in you. I know how much your job matters, and in both those regards. And yes, you have a beautiful family. I'm honored to know your wife and know your boys as well, and just enjoy tracking with you. So. Owen, same question. Tell us about just sort of what brought you to Pawleys Island, and bring us up to your senior year.
Okay, yeah. So I was born and raised in Morgantown, West Virginia. Both my parents are from that area. So kind of just got tired of the cold. So my dad. So my mom's parents actually owned a condo in Surfside. They bought it in the '80s, and vacationed in Surfside, Pawleys Island, all that area for as long as I can remember. So then one year, my parents were so tired of the cold, we decided that summer we were going to move. So in June of 2019, we packed our bags and we moved about 500 miles down the coast. So that's kind of how I ended up here.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate tracking with you, Owen, because well involved in football, well involved in baseball. We'll talk a little bit more about this, but thankful for you, serving in the context of a student huddle leader, and we'll say more about that and what that looks like. But you also you're a triplet, so how's that? We had twins last week, and now we're triplets. So I don't know where we go from there, but talk about that dynamic.
It's something else. You can't really explain being a triplet unless you are one. So I've only met a couple more pairs of triplets in my life, so they all understand it. But it's just it's really cool.
Yeah.
Seeing people's faces when you tell them you're a triplet, they're like, expression never gets old.
Yeah.
So
it is really cool, and I love tracking with you, and also the opportunity to know Elijah, know Kendall, know your parents. Your mother serves on our board. And so just really thankful for that relationship. So that's good. Wade, tell us about your family. Tell us about sort of your background. And
well, I was born in Myrtle's Inlet, and then I moved to Pawleys when I was around 10.
Okay.
And I've lived here my whole life. My dad's from Columbia. My mom's from Spartanburg. And I've just been playing sports my whole life.
Yeah.
So, did you want me to talk about football?
Yeah, great.
So I started running cross country, and then when I was sophomore, I quit. I ran cross country until I was 7th grade, and then I didn't play a sport in the fall during junior year, and I just got bored. I wanted to do something. So that's when senior year, that's when I decided to play football. And I the whole life I watched football, and I'm a Clemson fan. So I was like, I needed to play football, or I would regret it. So that's the reason I came out, and I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I came out because the coaches, love the coaches, and my teammates, and obviously I knew Owen, so I wanted to play with him. And it's been a lot different than any other sport I ever played. Like obviously going from cross country to football, like the two most opposite sports, no contact and then getting hit. That was I had to get used to just putting on pads and getting hit, but it's fun. And cross country just kind of getting not boring, but kind of boring, just running.
Well, I remember that first hit.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's sort of I feel like, Coach, you might speak to this, but I feel like that's a defining moment. When it's your first year, that first big hit, and you're like, all right, what's about to happen?
Well,
and so you handled it really well.
These two guys could not be more opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Okay, so Owen has been a part of the program, face of the program for 4 years now. I remember I was his offensive line coach as his freshman year. He was one of my staple guys, loved him to death. Could always rely on him whenever I needed him. Wade Leventis is a name that I've just heard in the hallways. We need to get this guy out. We need to get this guy out. This guy runs like the wind. This guy's awesome. And the fact that he came out his senior year, gave it a shot, brought 2 other guys with you that I really love to death. All right, just been a really good addition to this program. I wish I had you as a freshman.
Yeah.
All right, I wish I had you for 4 years. But the fact that I get you your senior year is awesome. The first play was, I want to say Ocean.
Yeah, it was Ocean.
All right, or it was just an outside screen to him. He caught that ball, turned up, picked up, 7 or 8 yards, and just got rocked.
Yep.
And everybody on the sideline, here's the moment. Here's the
Slow
moment.
motion,
Here's the moment. He gets up, shakes it off, runs the sideline like, yeah, boy, we got him now. We're good.
That's right.
So, I love both of these guys so very much. They're such great pieces of our program.
Absolutely. And I love that comparison, because in the context of, I have not tracked with a football team that, Owen wasn't a part of. And in that same vein, I've done student ministry for quite a while. And there seems to be, when we see these, seniors, you start to sort of think about all right, well, no regrets. And that's what I hear you describe, Wade. It's like, all right, well, this is my, my chance, my opportunity, and you've done a great job, and so that's exciting. But so it'll be curious. We're about to, we got to finish playoffs strong, and then you guys are on to the next thing. I know for you, Wade, that entails basketball.
Yes, sir.
So that'll be exciting. I think that, Coach, in the way of maybe the season, we got Coach Johnson's perspective last week, and same question. What's your sort of assessment of the season so far? And I joked with him. I was like, no trade secrets. Don't give away any strategy or anything that's going to put us at a disadvantage. But how have you felt about this season thus far?
I'm proud of where we're at. All right, we knew going into the season we were going to be very senior heavy, so this was kind of a prove it season for us.
Yeah.
One thing I respect a lot about Coach Johnson is that several years ago, probably the year that I arrived here, he said, "We've got these twins coming up, and one of them can run the ball really, really well." And said, "Okay, if we're going to put him at quarterback, we need to put together a system that's going to feature these two kids." And so now, both those twins are seniors. Both my B-backs are seniors. I've got several A-backs that are seniors. All right, I got a wide receiver who's a senior. I've got several linemen who are seniors. So we've got so much maturity and depth on offense. The expectation was heavy. All right, it was big. And I will say, going into the playoffs now, we have surpassed our win total from last year. We have surpassed every offensive number from last year. I am incredibly proud of how the offense has developed, especially over these 4 years, and then moving forward. Once this class of seniors leaves, I will cry my eyes out. All right, but then we have a new crew of kids coming through that are used to this system, and we're going to have to develop it through there. So basically, I'm going to earn my paycheck next season, but this season I'm reaping the rewards of having just a lot of seniors who know how to run the ball really well.
Absolutely. I think that is a great assessment, and I think it's interesting to see. Obviously, it's smart to play to your strengths, and that's what I hear you saying. And that does change even from year to year. We spoke last week of the importance of building a program as compared to like a team, and I think that it's exciting to consider. I've been out there with y'all for like rec ball. I've seen the B team play. I've seen JV, and so there's a sense of building, and I like the, I guess, maturity and leadership that it takes to compare, from year to year, and to say like, well, this is where we've grown. This is where we've gotten stronger and better, because truly, the Waccamaw sports program and football specifically, is getting better every day, every year. And so that's exciting, and it's something that these guys can know that they were a part of, and certainly you're here year after year. But these guys, even after those 4 years and Wade's his senior year, the opportunity to recognize that they contributed to that progression is
what
cool.
we need more of moving forward to build the program forward is we need more people like Wade, like Will Howard, like Lee, who said, you know what, I've been walking these hallways at Waccamaw. I know I'm an athlete. I know I can add something to this. Let me give this a shot. All right. We need staples, people who've been in the program forever, but we need new blood as well. All right. So I love the fact that you came out to give it a shot. We need more kids next season to say, you know what, I'm tired of being on the sidelines. I want to be in the game.
And I would say, to your credit, Owen, and your contemporaries, those other seniors and other sort of pillars of the program, kudos to you for, receiving these guys, because, y'all have been at it from the beginning, and there's a sense of, like Wade's sort of the new guy specific to, football. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to tracking with Lee and Will in the context of track and field. I want to get those guys out and to talk specifically about, that season. But I think that, I don't remember which, it was one of the boys last week, referenced sort of the family dynamic with our football team. Owen, can you speak to that and just what that's meant to you and how you feel like maybe you've contributed to that?
Yeah. So family, like the family part of football is something like you kind of miss when it's not there. It's like you're gonna stand beside the guy beside you, and you're gonna fight with him, and you're gonna hurt with him, you're gonna cry with him, you're gonna rejoice with him, and so it just like, especially with our group of seniors. So again, we're really senior heavy this year. A lot of those guys have been playing for 4, 5, 6 years in the program, and watching us go from a not lower end of the region, under 500 team to being 6-4 this season, going into playoffs, having opportunities to win lower state championships. It just adds to that brotherhood and that family, and I'm glad I've been able, had the opportunity to lead the huddle, FCA huddle, every Tuesday for the last 2 years, and that's really helped, I think, a lot of the kids grow, especially I hope in their faith, and even added even more to that family aspect of football. So really happy with how it's turning out, and I really hope that in these next couple of years, I can come back in 4 or 5 years after I'm graduated from college and see the same aspects, seeing us winning games, seeing the guys really close, and just overall really good culture and program.
Absolutely. Say a little more about the student huddle leader position and experience, because I'll say this, as the FCA leader, it's been really exciting for me to see not just the team grow, but you grow.
Yeah.
I know that when we first started with that, you've always done a great job. But at the beginning, you would sort of, you'd share a verse, you'd share a little story, you'd share, you'd pray, that sort of thing. You'd ask some questions, and you did a great job from the very beginning. But I've noticed this year, especially sort of since the middle of the season, a real just maturity and just a growth in what you've prepared and what you've brought to the team.
Yeah.
So share maybe a little bit about that progression and that experience, if you would.
So definitely from a faith aspect, I've grown a lot talking to these guys. Again, they're like my brothers. I've been playing football with them for 4 years. I mean, again, some of them I haven't been playing with that long, but it's just there's definitely, it's helped me grow in my faith from a standpoint of being able to share every Tuesday. I know I can get what's been on my heart to them, and hopefully it can be on their heart, and you can use that, especially when football's over. Again, when we end in the next couple of weeks, that they can go throughout the school year and say, I always say that if you need to talk, my number's here, text somebody. Yes. I really am glad that those guys help me as much as they don't think so. Whenever I get up there every Tuesday, I kind of feel renewed that I get to share something to them, and it's definitely helped me mature, not only in my faith, but as as a young man. Have been able to step back and reflect on what I want to teach these guys that are coming up, that I didn't do great whenever I was a freshman, a sophomore, even a junior, especially even now, there's stuff I'm messing up on that I want to take into the program, from a young man aspect and from your walk with Christ, that I messed up. I don't want you guys to mess up. So, here's what you can try to do. And so it's definitely helped me grow in my faith, and so I'm really thankful for that opportunity.
That's great. I love hearing that, and I think the Bible tells us that there's a higher level of expectation or requirement for a teacher. Have you felt that? Have you felt a sense of accountability and a sense of hey, I'm standing up here and saying all these things, my life needs to reflect sort of what I'm sharing and scripture that I'm
that's definitely a big thing is that with me spreading the gospel to these guys, my expectations is a lot higher. So it's definitely, again, you go back to my walk with Christ, that's so much more there's so much more expected of me, which is especially going to help me live a lot better. So that's helped a lot too.
That's great. Mm-hmm. That's great. I think in the context of spiritual growth, Wade, could you share a little bit about the discipleship that you and I do, and just Bible study and that? What's that experience been like, and for you?
Like you said, the discipleship's been good because, last year I was in FCA and I went to the meetings, and I wasn't really a leader, but I was just around it, and I felt like it was good going to those things. But now this year I definitely stepped it up in meeting with you, and that's helped me a lot in my faith and just reading my Bible even, because I remember last year and just my whole life I would just read my Bible now and then, just whenever I felt like it. But now I'm on a plan, reading every day. It's just helped me my whole life, even with football. Like Owen said, that every Tuesday when he gives the FCA huddle thing, that just keeps reminding me to read my Bible, and just it's helped my whole life, and just I'm been more structured, and I got to get to know you better, so that's pretty cool.
It's an honor to me in both those regards, tracking with you guys and having the opportunity to, hear you, speak on Tuesdays, usually Tuesday afternoons, and tracking with you in the context of leadership. Wade, that discipleship, is, I'm not sure if students realize this, but that is at least, it might be more significant to me because I think everything that we do in the context of Fellowship of Christian Athletes is in some ways like building toward that. It's just that opportunity to get in the Word, and we talk a lot. You guys can affirm this, Coach. You can affirm this. We talk a lot about, in the context of the team, about biblical wisdom. Being helpful in life and in your sport and in your faith. And FCA is voluntary and it's student led, and so nobody has to take advantage of that. Nobody has to show up, but I'm excited that it's there. We've got a school that allows that, and it's a good model, that platform of sports, because there are so many parallels between our faith and our sport, and growing and getting stronger, and that's exciting. And Coach, I have the opportunity to be in church with you
Yes, sir.
a lot of the time, and my favorite thing, in addition to just seeing you and seeing your family there, there's a group of students that sort of sits right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife and I, we laugh a lot of the time because there's more students than there are seats, but they sort of want to sit together, and they'll wiggle the way in there.
It's a church clown car sitting in front of me, absolutely.
But that's really exciting, and I love seeing that there at the community church. And I think my other favorite thing is I know that you've more than one occasion invited some of your coaches to join you, and that's really cool seeing, because I know as coaches, y'all's Sunday is pretty aggressive. Y'all've got a lot of
Yes, sir.
film and a lot of preparation for the week to come during season, and so it's a busy day.
Yes, sir.
All right. Talk to us about, because as we said earlier, you played football. You're also a baseball player.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Yeah.
And what would you say is your primary first love? Or do you? I mean, you can say both, but I'm just curious.
I am.
What would you What would you count as
so,
like your main sport or your primary?
I mean, I love them both equally,
Yeah,
but
sure.
for different reasons. So the whole reason I started playing football was because my parents, I was getting in too many fights with my brothers and my sisters. They just
Okay.
go out there and hit somebody, take your anger out.
Amen.
So that's kind of why I started playing football. But it is something where you kind of fall in love with it. But baseball.
Let me interrupt.
Uh-huh.
How old were you when you first played football?
I think I was probably six or seven.
Okay.
So yeah. But I actually took a break. I didn't start playing again until I was about 10.
Okay.
And then played a couple years. Took another break. So it's been on and off, but the love's always been there, and there's a reason I keep going back to it. But baseball's been pretty consistent for the last 10 years or so. I've been playing for a long time, and I'd say both are. I'd say I get that question a lot. Which one do you like more? I like them. I love them both a lot for different reasons. Though.
Yeah.
So
Give us a little. I mean, I know that's not until spring,
Uh-huh.
but tell us a little bit, like what position or positions do you play? And
So last year I was primarily a DH, designated
Yep.
hitter. I played a little bit of first base, but really all I did last year was hit, and that's what I like to do. So yeah.
that's great.
Uh-huh.
I have enjoyed tracking closer with Coach Schilt, and
Uh-huh.
just excited to be a part of the baseball program this year and
For sure.
tracking towards that. So
Uh-huh.
that's cool. Wade, so basketball is next for you.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about you're a more seasoned basketball player.
Yes, sir.
And so talk to us about same question.
Yeah.
What would you say your primary sport? Because next is track and field,
Track.
3-sport athlete. So what would you count as like your primary? And
Well, I've played basketball the longest. I've been playing school basketball since 7th grade, and I've been playing since I was like 7 years old at some church league. I'd say kind of what Owen said. Like, I like all three different sports around the same, but for different reasons. Well, first, I'm probably the best at track, and that was not. I didn't do track till later in my life. Like, I would say 2 years ago I started running. Well, I ran cross country 7th grade, but track was when I was a sophomore, and I just was naturally, good at it. So when you win or something, you kind of enjoy.
Of course.
Start to like it. And then with basketball, my dad and mom wanted me to start playing when I was younger. That was the first sport. They wanted me to do something, to be active, and just sitting around. So I played soccer and basketball. And then soccer I stopped playing after a couple of years. But then basketball always stuck with me. And I don't know why, but I've always just basketball's been different. I just enjoy it because I think maybe it's a team thing.
Yeah.
Track's kind of on your own. You have a team, but you're focused on your event and just running and get your times down. but basketball and football, it's like a family, like Owen was saying. And that's something I like about having those team sports. And that's one other thing I wanted to add about the football team this year. When I came in, I knew that I joined late, so I kind of felt bad about not being in the summer workouts, and I didn't know how the guys were going to take it. But they were like they took me in, and I was really appreciative of that, and so did the coaches. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for basketball season this year. I think we'll be really good. We have some seniors graduate, team looking a little different. But yeah, I'm excited.
Well, I can affirm what Coach Buffkin said a little earlier. There was talk of you, like with the coaches. And so it was exciting to see you show up, first of all. But this summer you were a little busy. Tell us a little bit about your experience in Philadelphia.
Yeah, so I ran at New Balance Nationals in June. And that was my first time ever running there. It was really fun and an honor to run there. It was weird because my track season got extended like 2 extra months. So it was really weird being in season that long because my body was honestly worn down.
Sure.
And I had to train on my own for a couple months. And it was weird training without the team because it's kind of harder to push yourself when you're running on your own. But it was fun going there. I ran the 400 meter and I ran a 48.8, I think. 48.4.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is not my best time, but I think I was so much, not nervousness, but just like excitement from running there. I ran not my race, but it was good. It was fun going there. And I'm hopefully try to go again next year and hopefully go with some guys on the team, the track team, so we can bring people there. It'll be more fun with my teammates.
And so I also, I know your family well. Your dad serves on the board also. Your mom, awesome. And even the middle, Claire, is a part of FCA at Coastal Montessori. And so I really enjoy tracking with her.
Yes.
But I think back to the summer and I think about, tell us, I'm going to push it a little bit.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about sort of that process because there were a lot of athletes. And so you were sort of in this sort of holding, being on that field, and then you were transferred. And
Yes.
and share maybe specifically that feeling right before the race started.
Yeah, so like you said, I had to warm up my own, and then they brought us into the stadium, and there was 14 heats of 400. So I was in heat 6, I believe. So I had to wait a really long time, and we were sitting in lines in the heat, and I was wearing all black. So the sun it was hot, and I was just sitting there, and all I could think about was just how nervous I was because I had nothing else to focus on. And then when I got out there, it was like they brought you out like a tunnel almost, and you can watch there's a big screen up, and you can watch the other guys run, and the crowd was full, and like I've never ran at a place with that many people watching me because track I feel like is like more of a sport where not as many people watch it actually in the place.
Right.
Like when we go have like a meet at the high school, there's only like our family members there, nothing crazy. So when I go into a meet like that with that many fans, it was a lot different. And so when I went out there, they gave you like a minute or two to like warm up on the track and get your blocks right, and then you just took off and ran. So it was fun, and I think honestly in that race I ran out too quick and kind of died down a little bit. But I was so excited, but then after I was a little disappointed in myself. But my dad was right up there, and he was just telling me I did a good job. He didn't care what my time ran. But it was fun.
Well, I was talking to your dad, and he sent me a link. I got to watch you, and I can absolutely confirm, just as proud as they could be, both your mom and dad. So that's exciting. But I love what you said about your reception on the team, and that was my experience as well. Mm-hmm. I had a lot of coaches coming up and I feel like maybe the model for coaching has changed over the years. But I love seeing our coaches and their relationship with y'all, and I think that it's really exciting for me because a big part of the mission of FCA is to encourage our coaches and our student athletes. And that coaching position, we spoke to this last week, but that coaching position is so critical to building up these young men, young women in the context of their sport and just their future, and every athlete I feel like has a different longevity or different experience from being able to, maybe some play through high school and then some have the opportunity to play into college, some go pro. But there's an end for everyone. But the lessons and the, experiences are something that you carry with you forever. And I think that probably if we pushed you, Coach, you could speak to your own experience as an athlete and your own experience with just your love for football. As you chose that career, you spoke to it. You knew you could not be away, from football for too long. And so, thank goodness for that, because you get to pour into these young men. I see it, and it makes me happy to know that they've got not only you, but like a whole, staff of coaches. And we're talking about football primarily tonight, but I would say our school as a whole. I haven't run into any of our coaches that I'm not like, okay, I'm concerned. Our coaching staff is top notch, and I think so many of them have that commitment to the success of our athletes and to their future, and they have a knowledge and an understanding and a belief that like it's much bigger. It certainly speaks to the success of the team, but also to the future of those students. Can you share a little bit about your maybe commitment to that success?
Absolutely. I first off, I've had a privilege to work with some amazing coaches at Waccamaw High School. I can't be more thankful for who I work with. I'm also very privileged to have been born, raised, played football, taught, and coached in the state of South Carolina. Now, being out here in Pawleys Island, you got a lot of transfers down here, a lot of people from up north that are amazed at how much the impact Jesus Christ has on the high school students as a whole. And I've never known anything different. All right, I've always had FCA as a part of my life. Coming out here, having Coach Johnson be so accepting and so receptive of you and your impact on our school. Every Tuesday, I get to sit in the morning time with a bunch of coaches, and we do a Bible study. And it's just like, you're talking about the head basketball coach, the head baseball coach, good, godly men who are responsible for teaching this next generation of Waccamaw students and student athletes. That is astounding to me. And so I can't imagine being in a scenario where Jesus Christ isn't the center of the culture being built. But I think most importantly is that if we have a responsibility of not just raising, Coach Johnson has said this many times, if all you learned how to do was play football as a part of our program, then we failed you.
Yes.
All right. Our mission is to raise men. All right. And especially in this situation, raise men of God. All right. Having Jesus as a centerpiece, and not just the football team, but the baseball team, the track team, just having that focus is so beautiful. I love the idea of football as a sport of chaos. You can plan and plan and plan and plan, and then they're going to show up Friday and give you something you didn't expect. All right. What I love is that Jesus Christ gives me a focus. All right, something that can center my life to where amidst all the chaos, everything's right where I need it to be. And I will say, I will compliment Owen every Tuesday, buddy. Your leadership has been amazing, and if you see it feeding off into the other kids. How many times do you have kids hesitate on praying on Tuesday?
Not a lot. I get a lot
Almost
of
never, buddy. Okay. And that's the leadership you've brought. You've brought that confidence. You've brought that focus, and they're feeding off of you. So you've done an amazing job of that. I can't thank you enough for that. But I've bounced to so many different high schools. I'm embarrassed to say how many schools I've taught and coached at. But I will say is that no school has felt more like a home than Waccamaw has, because the people that I'm surrounded by, the coaches that I'm surrounded by, the kids that I'm surrounded by, it's a beautiful situation. I'm so proud to be a part of it.
That's great. I love the platform of FCA. We spoke earlier to that dynamic of it's voluntary, nobody has to participate. It's student led, and that is evidenced by these two young men. And so many others. Like, I have an incredible leadership team there at the school, but our goal is to love on the entire school, and I hope that we do a good job of that. But just in the context of serving and encouraging and building up, and I'm confident that we've had students and student athletes that have come through the school that are not Christ followers, but I hope they felt loved and encouraged and a part of the team. And I know specific examples, where they have, but I think that it's just an opportunity to grow, and I love seeing just that family being an emphasis. The other coaches that you serve with, talk about that dynamic a little bit, and just sort of the camaraderie, because I see that. Last week I pointed a couple of times to like having this all access pass or front row seat, and I'm thankful for that. And Andre actually spoke to trust, and I would reiterate that. I think there's just a sense of trust among our players, our coaches, and it's a good family to be a part of, and I'm really thankful that I get that opportunity. Owen, tell us a little bit about maybe for future plans, and before that, also share maybe what you see as maybe a lasting impact or part of. We started this last week. I can't say tradition because this is our second episode, but what is maybe part of what you count as like your legacy to Waccamaw High School? What do you think how did you leave your mark, and then what is next for you?
So I really hope that my mark was left from just a good leader for those guys. I wasn't the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, but I tried to play with the most enthusiasm and the most grit. And I really hope I left the impact on them, from a faith standpoint that, if you ever need to talk about something, no matter, you're a freshman, you're a senior, you're graduated, I'm always here to talk. And so I just really hope I leave that mark. I wasn't always the best, but I try to give 100% every time I could. And I really hope, from a school like Waccamaw, we're never going to be the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, but, we got a lot of kids that are going to give 100%. And especially playing in the region we play in, that's what we got to have. So I really hope that going forward, those guys can remember that, and again from a faith standpoint, that I can leave a mark from when they're going through hard times, they can look back to maybe what I said, or look towards to the scripture or something like that. But going forward, right now I do plan to go to Clemson University and study engineering. Acceptances haven't came out for Clemson yet, but if that doesn't work out, I might be at Citadel too. I have an older brother that was in the armed forces, so he's a big advocate of that. He really wants me to go do that. So it's not on 100% clear, but I'm just trusting God's plan right now, and wherever He takes me is where I'm supposed to be. So
that's great. I think that a real turning point for you and I remember when you broke your collarbone. And, that was, that's really painful, but it's also like, so I know you were super discouraged by that. And you probably would have gone back out there and played if we'd allowed it. But I just remember, tracking with you through that, and even following just our little, conversations on the sidelines, like just post play, like when you come off the field, that sort of thing, just having that opportunity. You'll come over a lot of times and debrief and talk about what's just happened and how you feel about it and that sort of thing. And I really enjoy that, and all of you have taught me a lot, about football and different sports. But I have the best job in the world. And it's just an awesome opportunity to be a part of that team, like we said before. But I will always remember, that specific injury, and just again, just tracking with you since then. So that's awesome. Wade, same question. What do you think is sort of what's your mark that you'll leave on the school, or just anything of lasting impact, your legacy, and then tell us about what you're thinking in the way of future plans.
Well, I hope the mark I left, and I feel like I have mostly, is that when you do something, every time I've played a sport or done something, I've tried at it and just gave my all. Like for football example, I know I'm not I'm my first year playing. I'm not the best wide receiver. I know all the techniques and routes and stuff, but every time I go out there, even if it's just blocking, I try to do my best and give 100% every time. And same with basketball. The whole time I know I'm not the most skilled basketball player. I mean, I'd say I'm pretty good, but not the most skilled. I just one thing is like hustle every time I go out there and just do little things that will add up and give my 100%. And that's hopefully the mark I left. And I feel like I've mostly done that. I will say I haven't gone 100% all the time. I got everyone, no one always.
Who has? That's right.
Yeah, but I feel like most of the time I do. And from my plans after high school, I want to go hopefully run track at a college somewhere. I don't know where yet. I know God has a plan, and I'm just gonna trust in that and just try to run the fastest times I can on the track. And I know I'll find somewhere to go. But I'm excited for this season coming up.
Yeah, that's right. And we didn't rewind far enough, but what was probably the culmination of your season there at the school last year? Tell us a little bit about how that ended.
For track season?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, we won the state championship. And
So yeah, no big deal.
Well, it was cool. We won a team championship, which hasn't been done at Waccamaw, I don't think ever. Well, maybe it has, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. I also won the 400 meter and then the 4x4. But the team thing I think was really cool because I feel like we won my sophomore year as a 4x8, and that was just 4 guys, and it was fun. It was really exciting. But when we won as a team, I feel like it was a bigger deal because like everyone was excited and like it was a team thing, which I liked more. And I like winning the team things more. I feel like because you can be excited with other people, and it's more exciting that way. Like on the 4x4, we had AJ and me, William. So like those are guys that play football, and it's cool that I play other sports with them too, not just one sport. And that's one thing I like. That actually like AJ and Andre, that we do track and basketball together, and William, we do track and basketball.
Right.
Like all the sports I play, the same people carry over, which is something really cool. We have a strong bond.
Yeah. Speak to the chemistry of that. You know, I feel like there's a lot of, how y'all sync together, whether it's running, maybe the sense of a baton, or just like even in football, and what that looks like and how that benefits you.
Like I said earlier, when I joined the team, I felt like I was brought on really well. It's because I feel like I knew all the guys on the team. Like I feel like everyone on the team I've met before and I knew, which was really cool because, like I said, in basketball, I played with AJ, and in track, AJ, Andre, Justin, Orion, like everybody is on the track team, so I knew them. So going to football, it wasn't much different than the team aspect. I already had a chemistry with them, but I just had to bring that chemistry over to football, which is a little different. Like I said, I never played before, but when I didn't know what I was doing or had like questions, they were really well at giving me answers and just helping me out and not being too hard on me when I didn't know something. Yeah,
that's great. I think that one of my experiences with the football team is this leadership team that we have. Owen, can you maybe briefly sort of take us through what's the process, the selection process of that, and how did you apply for that, and what does that look like, and that sort of thing?
So leadership's a thing where you actually apply the March or February before, and you go through a selection process. Coaches look at it, and you're elected. You're a tribe. You're a tribe leader. You have a bunch of young guys following you on the team, and then you have some other leaders, not necessarily just tribe leaders of the football team, but you have guys like myself. I'm the FCA leader. Wade's a leader. He's on. A lot of people look up to him. So it's just a bunch of guys on the football team that the younger guys look up to. So from a standpoint of that, it's really cool to see all those guys I've been playing with known for 4 years, come together and really bond over leading the younger generation and the culture. Because it's changed a lot since I've been at Waccamaw, at the football program. I remember whenever I was in 9th grade playing my first year JV football. I mean, we probably had 20 kids on the team, and now we have, we have a whole B team, we have a whole middle school team, we have a whole JV team and a varsity. There's, I'm not sure quite the number of players we have in the whole program, but it's a lot more than when I started. And it's really, really cool to see that grow, and it's really cool to be a leader of those kids. And I'm just, I thank God every day for that opportunity. So,
I, in talking to Andre and AJ last week, I shared just about it's really cool to see those younger students and how they respond to you. And when we walk out from the weight room just before a game, I love seeing those younger kids. They line up, they're there, and they're sort of cheering for y'all, yelling for you as you take the field, and that's a really cool thing. And it speaks to that leadership of like, I can think of all of y'all as young boys, and then like where you're at now.
Yeah.
And so some of those young guys, so they're going to be the future of the program. And as Coach Buffkin, as you said, like where we're going to be 5 years from now. What's that going to look like? And I think that's really exciting. But we have the opportunity to do some training on Wednesday mornings with some of our leaders, and then probably my favorite thing is like our game day breakfast, which is maybe our newest tradition for that leadership team, and just the opportunity to hang out and get some food on game day and laugh, and really no agenda. We might, if we are feeling really productive, we might come up with a word of the day, or and then the opportunity to pray together both then. And another one of y'all's newer traditions that I love very much is seeing y'all circle around the goalpost and pray together as a team. And again, student led. I love when when we can hear our players praying, and Coach, you join us for that, and just I don't know, it's awesome to see these guys come together before the team and before the game, and it's just really cool. So that's great. I think that. I'd just be curious, Coach, what are some of your, you spoke earlier about some of the coaches or, mentors maybe that you've had through the years, and what are some of your sort of best practices, or your focus, sort of like parting wisdom as we sort of wrap up tonight? What would you share with these guys and our listeners? Last week, I sort of hopefully referred to listeners. We didn't have any yet because it was the first episode, but we're excited. My producer said, "Oh, we got all these listens and follows over the last week," and so I'm excited. We really are sort of a positive progression, and so it's exciting to see that. But what wisdom would you give us as we sort of wrap up tonight?
Okay. First and foremost, y'all get breakfast on Fridays? Why? All right. Sorry. Moving on.
Friday? Available?
I'm available. We'll make this happen. Imparting wisdom. I don't know if I can outshine Coach Johnson. He's a walking T-shirt machine. He's got so many slogans that it's impeccable. One of the things I like, you talk about the leadership process, the selection process on there. One of the big focuses we have is to make sure that it's not something like, I like Owen, you're a leader now, buddy, go be a captain. We want you to want to be a leader, to fight to be a leader, to step up and say, all these guys want to step up, but I'm the guy you should choose. So making that something that they seek rather than something that I just assign, all right, I think that's what makes quality leadership. And it tells you the character of your team, the fact that they want to step up is like, I want to lead the charge, let's go. So I love the idea that Coach Johnson put this in place. We're going to have a leadership team, but you're gonna apply for it, you're going to interview for it, you're going to write an essay about it. I don't know how in depth it goes, but I do know that when you try to be a leader at Waccamaw, you fight for it, and it's something that's important for you, which is why we've had a really solid leadership moving forward.
Yes.
So as far as lasting wisdom, you take the kids that you know are a part of your system, you make sure they're high character kids, and you let them lead the next generation moving forward. I am going to miss this group of seniors so much.
Yes.
I don't have words for how much I'm going to miss you guys, but I know Waccamaw's going to be okay. And it's not because we got a lot of great coaches here. We're doing some great things. I'm so proud to be a Warrior, but I'm proud because I know they've set up the next generation to come forward. All right, so next year when I'm back on the podcast, all right, we're going to be talking about the new group of seniors and how they're leading us to greatness, and it all trickles down that way. And I just love the character and the spirit that we've put together in this team.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that for me, the best model of leadership, and this is demonstrated in our coaches and in our players, and our leadership team. We got 12 guys on that, and so we'll look forward to talking to some of them as the weeks progress. But my favorite thing is to see, because you can it's so important. We've mentioned Owen specifically in his role as like student huddle leader, but bigger than that is sort of what these young men and what our young women in FCA are doing, like how they are they're the model of their lives, and how they are, and how they conduct themselves, and how they love others well, how they include the mention of family is exciting. That leadership model for me is like their actions, because it's really easy I think that I would not be as thankful and as excited for like Owen's leadership specifically if he were just talking on Tuesday and then whatever, but we get to see that played out. And for you as well, Wade, you guys are tracking and growing, and you're modeling that for those younger students. And so thank you for that. Great job. Proud of you both. And Coach, I am thankful for your friendship, thankful for just the opportunity that I have to track with you on and off the field, and hope that you are around for a very long time to continue to see this growth and this positive projection. And guys, I have a pretty good history of tracking with our college students and even young adults, and so I'm excited to see where things go from here for both of you as well. Thank you for being with us, and Coach, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate y'all coming out. As we wrap up, we want to thank again our sponsors, and always Chick-fil-A is our founding sponsor. We thank Dependable Service, and just for their commitment and partnership, and as well Clean Image and Holiday Lighting and pressure washing as well. So they got a few things going on over there. So thankful for them, and just encourage folks to patronize those businesses. And so that's a wrap for this evening, and we'll see y'all again next week.